Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, no.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl Tiley. Not in studio this morning, but my good mate Paul Mawate is. Paul, how the nuts after yesterday, mate?
Yeah, we should probably have a little bit of context around that comment, Karl, straight off the bat.
We'll get to that. Yeah. I just want to know how you are.
No, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I appreciate your concern.
Before I give that context, we'll welcome in Nick Tedeschi. Any guesses of where we're going with this, Teddy?
Oh well, no, I know the story, so looking forward to hearing the retelling of it and seeing the video, hopefully at some point in time.
Yes, absolutely. And our fourth man in today is Blake Ayshford. Aysh, all good, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm glad we made it with Paulie running the show again. Obviously, people don't know what's happened the last 20 minutes, but we're here. So let's move on,
Okay. Before we do move on, bit of context. Paul and I were filming with the Warriors yesterday. Kurt Capewell, Sam Healy and Morgan Gannon shooting some content at Mount Smart. Won't give too much away, but Kurt Capewell unhinged. He was trying to hurt us, and he did hurt Paul Mawate.
Yeah, I'm just glad that his aim is not as good as the power of his penalty shot, because I'm sure he was aiming for my face, and in the end, he went a wee bit lower than that, but not such that it was low enough to put me out of action. It was very, very close to a...
He didn't put you out of action last night. That's good to know.
Wow, this is PG show, Paul. Relax.
Yes, he I think it was like he was trying to do a diamond heist, steal my family jewels, but in the end, I came through okay.
Jesus. And you know, true professional can't even segue out of that, so we're just going to move on. Fellas, absolute the debacle that is the St George Illawarra Dragons, the gift that keeps on giving, if you will. Coach sacked, 2 coaches sacked. I don't know if you had that on your bingo board, Teddy. 2 in 2 days in the same club. The young fella is in. There's all sorts happening here. Before we play a little game, initial takes on what's going on, Teddy.
Well, this is great for starters. Nothing I love more than coach sacking, and he was absolutely gone after that performance. Like he was probably a bad hire at the start. Like it was a band-aid fix to try and get in, and they probably shouldn't have done that after Anthony Griffin because it was band-aid on top of band-aid, so it was never really going to work. But he really dug his own grave on this one, if you ask me. Like his just refusal to drop Valentine Holmes, his refusal to play young kids coming through, he's continually picking his son to play, his refusal to go and... Probably the biggest crime he committed while he was there was his refusal to go and sign halves who could compete with his son for the job. I thought that was... It really did the club a great disservice there. You think things are bad, coach gets sacked, they've done the right thing. You see what happened at Manly, right? They sacked Steve Old, fresh start, Kieran Foran, all that stuff. Well, that press conference that they gave, the CEO and the chairman, was one of the most laughable things you've ever seen. The fact that it took them 12 hours to get an interim coach in was a joke, but this club has no idea. The chairman took the opportunity to use this to slight the media in the most limp way you've ever seen. Most flaccid way you've ever possibly seen an attack on the media from this bloke. And they had no answers. Like, if you are going to really seriously redo the club, they've got rid of the coach, they got rid of the chairman of football, they got rid of the assistant coach. I'll be looking at moving on the chairman. And even though the CEO's new to the job, I'll be risk-selling him too, because this club is weak. And Dean Young, we'll talk about kind of the future soon. I don't like the idea of the next coach being someone from internally, but I will say this: he came up pretty strong. And his wrist holding of Michael Ennis was a bit of a surprise, but I can say I did like it. Getting one coach sacking is good. Getting two,
I know if that's light touch, I'd hate to see what deep touch is, but good to know passionate. Anything to add on this, Blake, as a former player?
Not really. I mean, it would be tough, I suppose, for Kyle Flanagan there now and maybe some other players, but you're going to have that. It'd be interesting to see. I don't think this will be the only change that Dean Young makes. And it'd be interesting to see whether they can, as the people have stated, ambush the Roosters this week. I mean, I don't really like it, but Anzac Day does, usually when these two teams, it doesn't really matter where these two teams sit on the ladder when Anzac Day comes around. It does sort of seem to throw up a good game. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn out this week.
Quick one. I saw a stat just this morning when I was doing some digging. Since 2024, the Dragons are 1-4 without Kyle Flanagan. Not sure their record is great over that time anyway, but
I think Kyle Flanagan's been fairly harshly treated. We make fun of him like he is without I think without question at the moment their best choice in the halves. And I think the bigger indictment is what has happened around and why he's the best choice in the halves. But Kyle Flanagan hasn't really done a whole heap wrong, if you ask me. Dan Atkinson has been a way bigger disappointment than Kyle Flanagan, and he got dropped this week from the half spot. But I actually think being the 14 jumper will probably serve him pretty well for the meanwhile as a tradition.
I don't think it. I think that you're spot on there. Probably the purchasing of Daniel Atkinson is probably the bigger look at. What sample size did you have that he was going to come in and start taking over as a 7? When there was other players
one field goal against the Storm is what he was signed off, I think. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean that's there wasn't much sample size there, so that's probably the bigger talking point. And you're right about Flanagan, yeah. So,
and the other point around that, and we're talking about Cade Reid. For mine, maybe the biggest knock on other than the halfback situation was just the lack of player development. Young kids couldn't get a go. This Pacific talent, a big body guy who should be a future. They've got such a talented young forward pack coming through. Halangaho, Stewart, Dylan Egan, who's been hurt, the Couchman brothers. And these guys have all struggled for minutes, stuck behind players like Blake Laurie. I think Ben Murdoch-Masila was there last year. And these old guys. And you kind of get this with the recycled coaches. Veteran, they over-rely on veteran players looking for short-term fixes because they believe they know what they can do. And at the end of the day, Flano had a faith in big body veterans, and the game in 2026 has moved on from when he was last coaching. So I think, change was absolutely necessary there.
Paul, you got anything to add?
Just something that Blake mentioned about, do we expect a bounce back with the new coach this weekend? And obviously we've seen that with Manly after they moved on from Seabold. I'll give you the answer in one, Blake. No, there won't be a bounce back this week. The difference between the Dragons and Manly is Manly actually have players who can actually win a game, and they just needed the shackles that they had applied to them while Seabold was there to be removed. And you can see they are a totally different team. The Dragons don't have that, or the Dragons haven't played those sorts of players. If you look at the veterans that they've got, they just haven't been performing. Gutho, Cook, Valentine Holmes, they just haven't. They're you could say they're probably past their use-by date. So I don't think they bounce back. And I know the Roosters are very, very short this weekend. But I just can't see this Dragons team competing with them at all.
And just on the Seabold thing, just quietly, how much did Manly players hate Seabold by the looks of this? They're really well. I'm not sure the Dragons players hated Flanagan. I'm not sure they believed in what he was doing, but I don't think there was a deep hatred there for him. I think at Manly it was just we're going to get a huge bounce out of this because he's gone. I don't know if that's necessarily the case of the Dragons.
Yeah. All right, I want to go do a little bit of a blind ranking like we've been doing the last few weeks. And instead of positions, I was trying to have a little bit of fun with this because when I wrote this down, Dean Young hadn't been confirmed as the interim coach yet. But I've got 5 coaching options here. Started off with a little bit of fun, and then I tried to get a little bit serious, so it might be a little bit shit. Who knows? But let's do it anyway.
Well, how appropriate, because we're talking about the Dragons.
Yeah, very, very appropriate. Let's start off. First man on this 5-person list is Dean Young. Where are you guys putting Dean Young?
4.
Ooh.
Yeah, 3 for me, maybe.
Yeah, probably a 3. Done good. Has had a lot of time to develop as an assistant coach. So, I mean, we haven't seen much as a head coach yet. Hard to go for. I'd say 3.
One thing I don't like about him, 2 things. I think he might be a good head coach. I'm not saying he won't, but I don't like that he's doing it at the club he's been at, because he's been part of 2 failed regimes there. So
He's tainted. Yeah.
Okay, I think you've been overruled there, Paul. I think he's 3.
All right. We'll take 3.
A combination of Matt Cooper and Mark Gasnier, club legends.
5.
One of them played union.
That was easy for Teddy.
I did see the Hello Sport guys say, obviously, Manly's put in a real good-looking Kieran Foran club legend. Maybe that's what the Dragons need to do. A topless Matt Cooper could lead the way. Next one in, Anthony Seibold.
4.
Oh, going 4. That's fun. You'd swap them around, wouldn't you?
The 5 slot, though.
Well, you chose otherwise. That means you've got 1 and 2 left.
Oh.
Next one up, Sam Burgess.
2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I would say 1, but outruled. I just think what he's doing good, and it's probably the hard nose that maybe the Dragons could use. Someone that doesn't take any crap, comes in there, doesn't take any crap from the top. That's just me, but we'll go 2. I'm scared to think who 1 is.
What's 1? Yeah.
Number 1, old mate Wayne Bennett coming back to the Dragons.
Hey, easy. There we are.
Yeah, well, we nailed that actually just quite.
Yeah.
You sure? You're 4-5. You still don't want to change that?
4 and 5.
Anyway, 4 and 5 aren't getting a gig, so. Well, Wayne's obviously the choice. I believe they have put a request in for Wayne, but Wayne has smartly said, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Right, Paulie, should we do a betting recap?
Yep. Here we go. We'll start with Blake. His best bet, Broncos to win by 1-12 at 370. Ding dong. Tommy Turbo, score a try in the first half.
Are we not refunding Turbo bets?
No, we're not.
Like I said, I would have been cashed up heavy for the weekend if that was the case. He featured in almost every multi.
Your same game multi. Crichton to score a try, Wong to score a try, Roosters win by 13 or more. No good.
Wow. Money
and
back.
And your anything bet, Dolphins plus 15.5, Dragons plus 12.5, Eels plus 13.5.
Jesus.
You've got to keep the Dragons out of your betting, boys, honestly.
Yeah. That's the 3rd week in a row. That hurts.
Blake, you are up $145.75 for the season.
What was up for the week?
35.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yep.
What's he up? 145 for the season.
145.75. Yep. Surly.
That's me, Tyler.
Surly, best bet. 2 or more tries combined. Alofiana Khan Pereira and DWZ got there easy.
Nice.
That was at $1.94. Harris Tavita to score a try at 390. Bang.
Oh.
Same game multi. Tigers to win. Pierce Paul to score a try. Ezra Mam and Katoni Staggs to combine for 1 or more tries. No good. And then anything bet. Lecker to score a try. Garner to score a try. O'Malley to score a try. No good. He was up 142 for the week. and he's only down 35.50 for the season.
Oh, gee.
Karl, best bet, Dragons to score under 19.5. Bang.
Yee.
Harris Tavita to score a try. Bang.
Bang.
Same game multi.
Oh.
Rabbitohs to win by 13 or more. Latrell to score a try. AJ to score 2 tries.
Oh. Pass the ball, Latrell. Pass the ball.
I made that mistake as well betting, and I was just like, I backed Latrell 1 and 2, but I thought I backed AJ for a hat trick. And thought, why would he pass when he could just run over Holmes? That was on me.
Anything bet? Roosters to win by 13 or more. Panthers to win by 13 or more. Wars to win by 13 or more. No good. Karl was up 142.50 for the week, and Karl is now 55.50 to the good.
Ooh,
Here he comes.
Here he comes. Here he
Teddy.
comes.
Best bet plus 11.5 on the Titans. Win.
2 greatest words in the English language. Backdoor.
Try scorer Dom Young. Worst 2 names in the English language. No good. Same game multi. Burns to score a try. Turbo to score a try. Purdue to score a try. Over 54.5 in that Cowboys Sea Eagles game. No good. And then is anything bet Raiders to win into under 49.5 in the Eels Dogs game.
Quietly. That was absolutely home. There was 22 points in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, talk about backdoor.
Oh,
Okay.
that Talon Silver try where Marcelo Montoya was treading in quicksand trying to catch him, just like, cursing.
Teddy was down $55 for the week and is now down $7.75 for the season.
Ooh.
My best bet, Sea Eagles to win. Bang. Try scorer. Latrell, first, second, or third try scorer. Bang! My same game multi. Tallis Duncan to score a try and AJ to score 2 tries, no good. And then my anything bet, Alofiana Khan Pereira to score 2 tries into Matt Duffy to score 2 tries.
Got greedy.
Oh, gee. That was me revenge of the nerds bet. I was up 145 for the week, and I'm up $358.75 for the season at the top of the punting plate.
Wow. What a turn of events in the last couple of weeks, eh? I was dead and gone, and now I'm sitting pretty in the middle of the pack. Surly's last, Paul Teddy's in the negatives. This is great stuff.
We're almost all in the positives, which is like I would have laid 100 to 1 at the start of the year that would all finish in the positives.
You sound like me there. We're almost all in the positives.
Almost.
We're basically flat.
I would have ripped one of those turbo bets last week. That's
As a collective, we're up close to $600, $550. Not bad as a pod.
And shout out to the 2 who tipped Chanel Harris to for a try. That was a great bet. I didn't tail that one in. It was a very good bet.
That was a very good try. He had no right to score that try.
Yeah. Wow. Who's off to the Dragons next year?
No way.
Right. Okay. Instead of the good, the bad, the ugly this week, we're going to spin the wheel. I still don't have a spinning wheel, but we do have this wheel.
Get the ladder.
We will never have a proper spinning wheel.
We will. I will get a wheel. Okay. Do you know how, honestly, I swear, do you know how often I think about the spinning wheel? And there's no shops sell a spinning wheel. You've got to buy it online and it just becomes difficult. And we'll get it.
Unfortunately, the wheel store is closed in Wellington, has it?
On the wheel today, I don't know if we need this one. Dragons drama. Woof woof. Obviously talking about the doggies there. Is Foz the GOAT. Storm lose 5 straight. The Roosters run riot. The ladder predictor. Jackson Ford, Dalian leader. So,
Predictor. Come on.
you want the predictor?
I want the predictor.
Anything you'd like to discuss, Teddy?
Yeah, dramas with the Dogs. I've got some strong opinions.
Who would have
Shock.
thought?
Shock. Paul, anything you would like to discuss?
Give us the ladder.
All right, I am tapping now. We are spinning.
It's green.
Storm lose 5 straight. Now, the Storm lost to the Raiders. They conceded 2 tries pretty early last week, but then they bounced back and they went bang, 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 scored 3 tries in 14 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but I thought after that they were back.
They bounced back on the most offensive penalty I've ever seen in my life when Troy Horsburgh got penalised for dissent with the ball when being held down and asking for a penalty. That was absolutely criminal, that decision.
Wasn't the first time he did it, though. He did it about 3 times before that, too.
Yeah, but he should be given a penalty every single time. Goff has decided to swallow his whistle or something like that. That's classic Peter Goff. That was criminal, that decision. Time to change that game. But anyway, that's an aside.
Yeah. As I was saying, I thought they were back. I declared them back in a group chat, not our one, because that would be silly declaring anything in our group chat. But I declared them back in another group chat, and then they weren't. They lost. They've lost 5 in a row. Where to here from the Storm fellas? They can't lose 6 in a row, surely. They can't.
Yes, they can.
I don't want them this week, but
Yeah.
I'm certainly not confident enough to go hard at them because they're where the Storm have always historically been great is that they've done a really interesting thing with their cap, and they've gone and paid high ranking players a lot of money. Big 3 in the old days, big 3 or 4 at the moment. And then they have a whole heap of young players coming through. Then there's that middle tier of players. And at the moment, those players are getting paid at Eli Katoa, Tui Kamika, all that stuff. So that combined with some probably poor recruitment decisions over the last few years, like investing in Stefano, all that kind of stuff, it's hurting them now. And they're very, very thin on the ground. Some not of their doing, some of their doing. But at the end of the day, it's their inability to defend. That's the problem. Like they're conceding 52% of their tries down the left side. The young Cooper Clark, whatever his name is going to be a good player, but he's all at sea at the moment defensively. They are struggling. I've never seen Cameron Munster play worse in my life.
Yeah.
He's going awful.
Yeah. That's where I'd probably go. Cam Munster's just even the attempt at tackle on the weekend when they scored a try through him, and it was the replay and just showed Cam Munster just it was a pretty poor attempt in his standards. He's an international player, so look, I think they can bounce back this week. But I mean, I just looked at their squad. 13 of the 17 have played in the grand final. They've had semi-final runs. They've played in big games. So I just think they're getting beaten at things that the Storm never get beat at, like the 1%, like diving on a ball, a kick chase, winning the ruck, like simple things that aren't the highlight plays where the Storm always win. Yep. They have been getting beaten at. And that's until it turns around. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard because that's more a mental thing, a mentality that you go into a game with. It's not sort of something you can train for because every team trains to be fit. As soon as they turn that around mentally, then I think they will start to change because they still have a good enough team to do it and be in the top 8. The reason why I wanted to talk about the ladder as well, I'll just put it in quickly, is because a lot of these teams, and Melbourne's one of them, are going to lose players to Origin.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at teams like the Warriors and that who are up the top, who won't lose teams, how Origin's usually a time where these clubs are up top. Then the other teams who don't have the Origin players start to make it interesting and they start to jump. So if the Storm don't win this week and go on a little run before Origin, I mean, it's almost time to call the season done. If they don't win this week or win the next couple leading into Origin, it's going to be a tough ask during that Origin period when you think Harry Grant's gone, Cameron Munster's gone. You know, you're going to rely heavily on Jerome Hughes and some other players.
They're going to win. They've got to win like at least 11 of their last 17 to make the eight. Well, at the moment, which is
Big ask.
It's a decent. Penrith, of course, were in a much more dire predicament last year. But yeah, like you're right. Like I think what we're going to see with Melbourne this year during the Origin period is probably a different approach as to what they've taken before in terms of resting players to just give you up on games and stuff like that. They're not going to be afforded that luxury. You made a good point though about the 1%. Like you look at Joe Chan's game a couple of weeks ago when he got hooked. It wasn't so much that he was playing badly, it was just the ill discipline that you just don't see out of the Storm. You know, getting up and not touching the ball with your foot, playing the ball, giving away a penalty in possession, just stuff like that. You just never used to see out of the Storm. And Cooper Conkamady Johns spoke about it on their show this week. Like you look at their scramble defence, whatever they used to do, they always used to get back, they always used to be in line and used to be hard to get through. Now there's triangles everywhere, players are rushing up, there's a lot of inexperience out there, particularly in the outside backs. Like, it's all over the shop, and combined with the Munster situation, and you know, you're probably not getting the best out of Joe King, and the forward pack is just getting absolutely smashed at the moment. Like they are losing every battle at the moment. The forward pack. And let's talk about having a lack of size. You know, the good teams are lacking size in the forward pack. Like mobility is king this year, not size. The problem is that they've just got Josh King running straight up and getting absolutely smoked in every tackle. Well, that's hard to. You know, they need to get a bit more creative with their yardage plays, I think. So, a bit going on at the Storm. And I thought Bellamy taking a step back this week and not being angry and saying they need to look at things was a kind of telling point that maybe this is a bit more of a long-term fix than something that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Paul, you said you reckon they'll go 6 straight losses. They are playing the Bunnies, who have lost 20 straight in Melbourne.
Never won.
Yep. Hold on. If we go back a few weeks, the Warriors had lost 17 straight to the Melbourne Storm. They stopped it because this is a different Melbourne Storm team. We have a go at the Dragons because their stars aren't producing. Now, I'm not saying that the Melbourne Storm stars aren't at the same low level as those Dragons stars, but they're not. They're not getting the same. They're not getting the same out of them that they used to. And Teddy's right, that pack is being bullied. And that means that Harry Grant, he isn't getting the same amount of time or the same amount of sort of go-forward ball that he had been getting in seasons past. So, first of all, the Storm, when they picked up an ordinary player from another club, he would come in and he would almost always go up in production. Their ability to find a diamond on a regular basis was uncanny. These days, they're finding just carbon. They ain't getting those shining lights anymore. That pack is struggling. You should go back to the first 2 weeks of the comp. They beat the Eels and they beat the Dragons, who are two of the teams that have been struggling, and they look good, and that spine looked good. But since they've started to shape up against some teams who can actually fight back, they really have struggled. So I agree with Teddy. I think this is a long-term solution that they're looking into now. And if they pick up another 2 or 3 losses in the next 5 or 6 games, I think they just wipe it and they just start looking at rebuilding.
Paul heavily focused on his minerals today.
Yeah. Huge. Big mineral guy. I'll quickly do a ladder question to you guys, because I know you want to speak about the ladder. But you just mentioned the Eels, who the Storm put 50 on. The Titans also put 50 on the Eels. The Eels are above both of those teams on the ladder, which is sick. I love that. But my question to you guys, the current top 8, Panthers, Warriors, Tigers, Bunnies, Roosters, Seagulls, Sharks, Knights. Of those 8 teams, who do you think, if any, drops out from here?
I think heaps drop out. Knights drop out. Eagles drop out. Tigers, no morals. They'll probably stay, but those two definitely drop out for sure.
Yeah, I think the Knights and Manly will drop out. You look at who will replace them. I think the Dolphins, when Jeremy Marshall-King gets back, will be ready to roll.
I think they've got a good draw coming up over the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks as well. So
the reason I wanted to talk about the ladder as well is you look at those teams who can actually, like, you're looking at the teams from the bottom. Like, you'd say now there's a 6-man bench, I believe, in Origin. And I don't know if that's been confirmed or...
Who knows?
Yeah, like if they do run the 6-man bench, you're taking more players out that, might not even play. So then you're looking at the Bulldogs will lose Preston, probably Burton again, Crichton.
But as if Burton's on a moral to be 20th man this time.
That's what I mean. You're going to lose them. You look at the Sharks losing probably Adden. Now Payne Haas is out. You maybe Brayley be on a bench. Like, all these teams will lose. My thing around the ladder is if you can get on the Warriors at $13 right now, I mean, it's looking juicy because the run isn't the hardest home. Penrith will lose Isaiah Yeo, Casey McLean maybe, Nathan Cleary, Dylan Edwards, Mitch Kenny's out, who'll probably be selected. They're losing a lot of players. And I think those teams down the bottom are going to do it tough to catch the teams, up the top. And I think it's a good chance for the Warriors to finish minor premiers at $13.
Wow. Love that call.
Wow. Did not see that coming from you, Blake, but I love it.
Yeah. Who do the Wars lose during the Origin period? Do they lose Mitch? Do they use Jackson Ford? Do they lose him?
I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
But I think you look at what's happening at the moment with the Dimitri Vaimonga, Tanistower, Smith. These players are losing minutes and could probably play 40, 60 minutes in every week. You'll still keep James Fisher-Harris. So the forward pack, you may lose Mitch Barnett and Jackson Ford, or maybe one of the two. But I still think that the depth that the Warriors have, it's been spoken about all over the NRL community that it's probably the best in the league. So,
we talked about pre-season as well about how even their team was. I think I said that they had no one in the top 4 of the position, but they had no one in the bottom 4 either. And it's really coming to fruition now because you can just rotate those guys. Because losing Mitch Barnett actually does not hurt the Warriors at all. And that's no knock on Mitch; he's a great player. But you got players to rotate through, give them minutes, and can do a job. And even the coverage of Luke Metcalf has been pretty incredible. What Wade Egan's minutes have dropped. He was an 80-minute player last year. He's 55, 60-minute player now. But it's been fantastic.
The other name that I heard the other day, who's apparently close to a comeback, which completely the forgotten man, Tamati Martin.
Yep.
Wouldn't be in the 28 players at the moment. They're going that well.
No, exactly. But that's what I mean. Completely forgotten about. Whereas 2 years ago when SJ was out or down injured, we went on that run and, Tamati was king. So it's, great spot. All right. Continuing to talk about players, Teamless Tuesday, where we pick someone to highlight that's jumped out on the Teamless sheets. Blake, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Mine was the Bunnies. I don't know whether they line up like this, and I probably don't think they will, but Brandon Smith in the back row.
On an edge.
Yeah. I do see, though, Ewan Aiken on the bench. So I'm thinking that might be a change, but Brandon Smith on the edge. And even, I know they did it last week against the Dragons, but Keon Kolomatangi coming off the bench and Sean Kippy starting. I don't know whether that's just to take the brunt of the first 20 and Keon comes on. But I just thought those two were strange in the Bunnies team, but I don't think they'll line up like that.
Keon's got a bad knee at the moment. And Keon was on TV over here saying that he's asked to be starting at the bench to take the heat out of the first.
There you go.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Teddy, do you want to go?
Yeah, 2 people I couldn't believe kept their jobs. Valentine Holmes, I thought was completely gutless from Dean Young. I thought, come out strong yesterday, and well done, Damien Cavery. Naming Valentine Holmes after he missed 12 tackles, that was astonishing. There was a chance to really lay a marker down and say, we're not going to put with this rubbish anymore. And Marcelo Montoya, who I am sure Tom Eisenhuth could outrun, which means I could outrun them both. Except his job. I know Carraz and Nanari Tuala are out. Absolutely. He was such a liability last week against Parramatta. And I don't even think it's a lack of effort. I just don't think he's got it anymore. Not that I'm sure he ever had it, but certainly whatever he had, he didn't have that anymore. So the good news with the Dogs was that Josh Curran wasn't named in the centres. So, and probably the worst selection decision ever made in the history of rugby league. And I love Josh Curran a lot. But for him to be named in the centres, and then the justification afterwards that Josh Curran was named
Warriors.
with the Warriors, it's like I've gone back and did some digging on that. Never played centre once for the Warriors, so.
Wait, you're hijacking our segment. Stop.
Hold on.
I'm angry.
And that's news? Really?
Paul, who have you got?
I'm sort of with Blake here. I'm going with Brandon Wakeham. Why has he been selected in the number 9 jersey for the Sea Eagles when they got someone like a Jake Simpkin on the bench? I don't understand. I thought Simpkin would be next cab off the rank, chuck him in the 9 and keep rolling forward. Yeah.
I suppose probably because he's been named there the last 3 weeks and they've won by 50, Paul. Might be the reason.
Oh, Paul's just making another shot to the grill.
Oh, this is great too. I've just had a notification come through that the video we were talking about before with Paul Mawate has been shared with the wider team
what?
here at Entain.
That's
So that's
unbelievable.
Great news. My Teamless Tuesday selection, Casey McLean back for the Panthers. I think it's just going to be a nightmare for the Knights. More eyes.
You're anti-Knights, are you, there, Carl?
Sorry?
You're anti-Knights, are you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely this week. Did you see the rubbish they put up in the second half against the Roosters?
Yeah, I was on 2.5. I saw that very closely.
Yeah. More eyes on that potent left side for the Panthers. The Knights have given up tries all over that side of the park the last 3 weeks. I think the Panthers are going to feast on the Knights this week. Next one, Stat Chat. I love this, so I will start. I'm off the Knights. I'm also off the Dragons, if you didn't know. The Dragons are off to the 5th worst start in the NRL era, losing 7 straight. The only other 4 teams above them, or worse than them, or better than them, whatever.
Worcera.
The 2023 Tigers, who lost 7 straight. They had 4 wins all year and they finished dead last. Shout out to Blake. The 2002 Panthers, they lost 8 straight to start the year. Finished 12th out of 15. Could argue 13th because the Dogs, obviously.
Don't start me now. I'm about to hijack another
The 2006 Bunnies, they lost 12 straight. They only won 3 all year. They finished dead last. And the 2005 Knights started the season 0-13. They then went on to win 8 of their last 11. Still finished last, but only by 2 points. So that's less game focus.
The Dragons are going on a run now? Is that what you were saying?
All I'm saying is they have a chance, okay? They have no chance, but I like that. What have you got for that game, Teddy? Dragons.
Yeah. Dean Young's been interim coach before. He covered just 40% of his games when he was last coach. And it was a good team too. It was a similar situation as most of the season.
Okay. Paul, what do you got?
For what?
Bruh. Stat Chat.
Hold on. I've got to bring it up now.
Oh my God, Blake, what have you got?
Yeah,
Save us, please.
Mine's mine. We've already mentioned mine, but it was more around the Storm at Amy Park and Olympic Park. The dominance over the Bunnies. You know, they have lost one game when they were. It was a home game, but it was at Suncorp Magic Round. That's the only home game they've lost to the Bunnies. So, look, I don't mind the Storm coming out fast this one. I actually like the Storm first half margin, 9+, 345.
Okay.
Yeah. My stat there, Souths have never won in Melbourne. So, similar one.
Jeez, everyone's just phoning it in today, aren't they?
That's hardly a phone in. That's a good stat. They won 31 of the... Okay, here's another one. Storm won 31 of the last 36 against the Bunnies.
That's better. Paul, you ready yet?
Yep. Broncos have won 8 of the last 10 against the Dogs.
I've got a good one on this one, actually. The over is 9-1 when both Reece Walsh and Payne Haas are out on Brisbane.
Well,
That's good for my betting later today. We'll
Good.
see.
You want the other games now? I'll run through.
Yeah.
Tigers, Canberra. The Raiders are 20-9 against the spread as a road underdog. Cowboys, Sharks. The Sharks have covered 16 of the last 19 against the Cowboys. The Wars, Dolphins. The Warriors 9-23 against the spread when favoured by 4 or more.
He just keeps coming up with these ones.
Well, I don't keep coming up with them, Paul. I kept reading them and use them and just add on to them from last week. Newcastle and Penrith. Penrith's cover rate drops from 58% to 44% when Mitch Keeney's been out since 2021. And Manly and Parramatta, the over is 17-6 when Parramatta are an underdog of 4 or more away from combat.
okay. Few there. What's the stat of the week?
I'm going to say the over is 9-1 when Walsh and Haas are out for Brisbane.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't think that, right? You would think the Broncos will be a better attack with better go forward and Walsh at the back, but
Their production will go down.
I'm guessing their defence is a bit looser.
That's a great segue to lead us into the game previews. And that first game is the Broncos $2.35, the Bulldogs $1.60. The line is 3.5, total 49.5. Broncos are dropping like flies. Critter back for the Dogs, and unfortunately, Josh Curran not playing in the centres this week.
Well, the one take from this one is Cameron Sorrell is a complete nut job. I've got no idea what his fetish is with his journeyman, but it is absolutely killing me. You know, we talk about which club got the best of the Warriors' assistants. I'm willing to raise the hand of the Warriors right now because you've done it with Webby. But back to this game, I've got no idea how the Broncos are such big outsiders in this one. I know Haas, Jensen, Dean Mariner are all out. Corey Pates is back. But the Broncos have dominated the Dogs of late. Won and covered 7 in the last 8 and won 8 of the last 9 at Suncorp. Broncos 16-8 against the spread as an underdog. We saw them last week get the job done as well as an underdog. Covered 8 of their last 12 at Suncorp. They've covered 20 of 32 and $1.70 or bigger. The Dogs covered just 16 of 38 as a favourite. So not loving the Dogs. The Warriors with the Broncos, their cover rate falls from 62% to 33% with no Reece Walsh. But I'm really keen on the over in this one. The 4 of the last 5 between these two have gone over 40 plus and gone over the total. The over is 9-1, no Walsh Huss for Broncos. 30-17 when the Broncos are off conceding 20 or fewer. 23-17 when the Dogs are off a loss. Very keen on over 48.5 this one.
Nice, Blake. What do you like?
I'll feature in my betting later, but I do love the Bulldogs in this game. I like the stats. Yep, I understand the stats. For me, it's just a sort of feeling game. With the Broncos, I tipped them last week, but I wasn't overly impressed. Crichton back in gives me so much confidence. I think with him back in and you got some punch coming off the bench in Tupanua, I do like the Dogs in this one. And I like them in a big style, big fashion.
Wow.
Hope you're right.
Paul, you're going to put your minerals on the line here?
Yeah, my minerals are all on the Doggies too. I know the stats just mount up against them in this matchup, but I just think first of all, they bounced back after that very, very poor performance last weekend. Obviously, the backline looks a lot more, I guess, orthodox this weekend. Crichton back in is a big, big plus for the Dogs. So, yeah, I'm going with the Dogs here.
I just can't pick the Dogs with confidence.
Yeah, should you? I watched the Dogs last week. Like, they were horrific.
They played great against the Panthers, but they haven't played great against anyone else. Like that $2.35 for the Broncos looks juicy as hell for mine. Even
well
with players dropping like flies. So yeah, I'll be on the Broncos. Next one, Dragons $5.20. The Roosters $1.17. The line is 17.5. The total 52.5. Cade Reid in it, halfback for the Dragons. Billy Smith on the extended bench for the Chooks. Anzac Day classic. I can't see the way the Roosters played in that second half last week. I can't see them not doing a job on the Dragons here.
Yeah, this could be 100. We could be looking at the record score if the Roosters are fully focused for the whole game. And yeah, a bit of a myth. This game's typically close as well. Yeah, 11 of the last 15 Roosters Dragons games, the Roosters covered, and they've dominated. They've won 13 of the last 15. The last 3 wins at Allianz have been by 28 plus. So presumably they're the last 3 Anzac Day games. They've scored 31 plus in 4 straight. The last 7 have gone over the total. Plus 7, 46 plus. The Dragons have covered one of their last 9 as an underdog. I was slightly wrong on the Dean Young thing before. He has covered 40% of games as an interim coach, but he hasn't coached that many times yet. And he coached the Dragons 6 times and Cowboys a couple of times. The Roosters are 14 and 9 against spread in daytime games. They've covered their last 4 of conceding 24 plus, but it's how they've looked over the last few weeks in the second half that they've really been. When they're at their best, they're dominant, and the Dragons. You've got to be on Hugo Savala to score tries this week. He looks like a great player. He's up against Valentine Holmes. Holmes has conceded 7 tries in the last 4 weeks directly to his opposite number. So including the ones that he's conceded outside, inside, 2 bad defensive reads.
That could be Billy Smith, right, if he comes back in?
He was there last week. Billy Smith's been there the last couple.
Yeah, Savala will play, and Smith will be used on the bench. I think Savala's done more than enough to keep his job, so I expect Savala will play. The over in this one looks just a great bet, and what looks like it's going to be a good day. 31-23 when the Roosters are favourites, 11-6 when the Roosters are scoring 38 plus, and the over comes at 57% rounds 5 to 8 when there's a favourite of more than a converted try.
Okay, Blake, what do you got?
Look, the Roosters in the top 8, the Knights are -2 for their for and against. Roosters are -9. Every other team in that top 8's in the positives, and for me, that sort of signals where the Roosters are at. I understand they're a great attacking team, but the last 2 weeks they've had to come from behind to win these games. So, yep, the Dragons are going so poor. But once again, with the Roosters, I've put my faith in them for the last couple of years, and I keep waiting for them to put it all together. And their defense is it's just not there at the moment until it needs to be. And then, there's always the argument that the Dragons attack struggle to score 20 points. But look, I think the Roosters win, but I won't be tipping a line or anything in this. I have no confidence in how this will go, especially with the team losing a coach and the bounce back that we usually see. So I think the Roosters win, but yeah, I'll be having a beer in hand, a couple of 2-up played, and we'll see how it goes.
Good luck finding a 2-up game in New Zealand. It was one of the banes of my existence trying to fly one over there.
You make your own, Teddy.
I don't disagree with you, Blake. I can see the Dragons scoring some points here, but I don't think they're going to score 50.
No,
and I can see the Roosters scoring 50. There could be 80 points in this game. Paul, what are you thinking?
So, Karl, you're not going to take the under 17.5 for the Dragons' total points this weekend?
Not this week, no.
Okay, cool. I agree.
Another low-scoring betting play later on.
Well, good. I'm glad you're avoiding this one because this total, I think it's 52.5, or the low when I came in it was 52.5. I think we're going to just fly over the top of that. The only way it gets close to not going over is if the Roosters decide to take their foot off the gas, and I don't think they will. I think this will be an absolute bloodbath with the Dragons scoring 2 or 3 tries, but I think Marky Mark is going to go nuts here. So Teddy will be happy to get on him for 2 or more tries, I would have thought.
I thought so.
You can get so 61 or more points, $3.05. 71 or more, $6.80. That's worth a little throw at the stumps.
But the last few Anzac games, 64 points last year, 78 the year before, 53 the year before that.
How good. Music to my ears. All right, next one, a new Anzac Day clash. The Warriors $1.45 versus the Dolphins $2.80 in Wellington. The line's 7.5, total 49.5. Chance is out, so Tuapuki's back at fullback. Nikorima out for Dolphins, Schneider in at 6. Teddy, I know you like the Dolphins as a plus here.
I do. Some good news for the Warriors, though, to start with. They've covered 4 of 5 in Wellington. They've covered 5 of the last 6 against 5 of the only 6 against the Dolphins, 1, 2 of 3 in New Zealand. And Dolphins players coming from Darwin, where they apparently lost 3 to 5 kilos per player.
Yep.
Which is a tough ask. So enthusiasm a little bit tempered by that, but I've got to do with the plus here, which I think is 7.5 at the moment. Mainly because the Warriors just don't cover when there's expectations. They'll probably win the game, the Warriors. Can't knock the Warriors at all the way they're playing, but they covered just 38% as a favourite, covered 9 of 32 when favoured by 4 or more, covered 9 of 26 off scoring 28 plus. The Dolphins, 23 and 15 against the spread, getting 4 or more. They've covered 11 of their last 18 against top 4 teams. I like the Dolphins here, and I love the over in this one as well. I think there's going to be plenty of points in this one. The over's 25 and 18 when the Warriors are off a win. 18-11 when they're off a win of more than a score. 27 and 21 when the Dolphins play at night. 11 and 5 when they're an interstate underdog of 4 or more. So I think there's going to be plenty of points in this one. I think after last week's effort against Penrith, the Dolphins' defence is probably going to be a little bit loose. But I think they can score tries on the Warriors. So I'll be particularly worried about the right edge defence for the Warriors and Herbie Farnworth running at them. So.
I think he's scored in all 5 games against the Warriors.
Yeah, he's got 8 tries in 10 games against the Warriors.
You remember last year he was carving up the Warriors till he did his hamstring.
He was off and on for a length of the field try almost.
The one thing, and I did watch that game, and that was my thought watching the Dolphins Penrith game is like, and it wasn't a slow game. Like I think Gilbert or someone made 20 tackles in the first 15 minutes. Like it was insane, that pace of the game, the amount of time the ball stayed in. So the travel alone from Queensland to Darwin over to probably back home, and then Redcliffe over to New Zealand, it'll take its toll. You mentioned the weight loss there. It's going to be a tough ask for the Dolphins. And for me, looking at the team, Cody Nikorima, I've said for the last couple of years, it's a massive out. And the attacking wise, we mentioned that attack, but a halfback, Katoa does some great work in there. But for Cody Nikorima, the pace he has to dive deeper into the line and get outside his man is why it works so well.
Yeah.
And Schneider just doesn't have that same pace. He doesn't have the same pace to dig into a line. And I think the Warriors have been better on that right edge. Artile Atoa, since being dropped and coming back into the team, his defence has been pretty good. We obviously know against the Storm, and then on the weekend, it was very good with a couple of great hits. So I think they will send an extra number over on Farnworth's side. They have to. But without that inside work that Cody Nikorima does, I think the Warriors should cover that well. So I like the Warriors here to win this game.
Paul?
Yeah, I like the Wars as well, and I like the overs. This will be free-flowing. I think the forecast looks like it's going to be certainly an improved from what we've had down here in Wellington for the last few days.
Can we go backwards from what you've had the last few days there, Paul?
Oh, jeez.
Cannot.
Bloody hell. It'll be some open, free-flowing footy. And
32,000 people as well. Sold out.
Sold out.
It's going to be loud, which is going to be cool.
When the All Blacks sold out Wellington Stadium?
Before COVID.
League is king.
You say that, Teddy, but the tide is certainly turning.
All right. I obviously like the Warriors in this one too. Every week, Ted? Every week.
Every week. Lay the points. I want lay the points. The Warriors by 4. That's how this one will go. Back door.
That's 2 points. That is 2 points. Storm, next one, Storm $1.60, Bunnies $2.55, the line 3.5, total 50.5. We mentioned it before, Bunnies no good in Melbourne, but like the Broncos for mine, that Bunnies at $2.55 is extremely enticing. Part of me just can't believe that Melbourne loses 6 in a row, but the way the Bunnies have been playing, $2.55, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I had no idea this game. Like, I kind of first thoughts were probably a little similar to you, Carl, in that they didn't send the value, but you know, the history, obviously, we don't get to it again, but Storm have dominated it. I'm concerned about the makeup of the south side. I was discussing the team with stuff like if Smith starts on edge, Clementine carrying injury into the game, the desperation's obviously going to be a pretty big part of it for the Storm as well. The Bunnies do not travel well at all. They've covered just 10 of the last 24 in the state. So don't usually back up a score 6 and 10 first point 30 plus. The Storm have covered 13 of 8 off conceding 20 plus. Yeah, maybe the Storm leaning that way, but no confidence this game at all.
You'd have to think like the history the Storm have, and maybe because they used to have that history against the Warriors, but playing on Anzac Day, they always seem to get up for that, and they do it so well in Melbourne that you'd think if they can't get up for this, then maybe you do put a line through them.
Yeah, and this is the one. Like I that's why I'm so confident in Melbourne this week. All those factors, you know, the losing streak, the way they're losing, but also you're coming up against, you know, injured Bunnies team on Anzac Day. I just think that. Sorry, I've been on the back of the other side of that, and there's been some big hidings. There's been some games where you think you're going to win, and then somehow Cameron Smith comes up with a play, and I just think that the Storm get the win here.
Yeah, Paul,
I love the Bunnies here. I really, really like the Bunnies here, and it's more the fact that I don't like the Storm. This is a different Storm team from the Storm team that we have seen over the last decade. I have no doubt that Bellamy is thinking well ahead. This season's gone for them. I cannot see them getting back in, and I can't believe that they are continually priced as favourites by the bookmakers, and I'm very happy to take the Bunnies at better than $2.
just give me a second. Now that you've declared the fact that they can't get back in the 8, I just want to max bet Storm to make the 8.
Are they still under even money to make the 8?
It is $1.77.
Yeah. They'll make the 8. But whether they'll do anything is a killer fish.
Dolphins $3.50. Just FYI.
Wow, wait.
Yeah.
If they had a good coach, I'd be all over that. But...
Okay. It's a great segue and a great setup by me too. So let's get to some betting. I will start because I think I'm on a heater. I'm up positive 3 or 4 weeks in a row when starting. So add that to your stat line, Teddy. $50 best bet. Panthers minus 12.5. I know you said before, Teddy, the cover rate when Kenny's out isn't great, but they are playing the Newcastle Knights, and Jekyll or Hyde, the Newcastle Knights, they're obviously a better team than they were last year, but they were so bad in that second half last week.
Just like I can't argue with you on that, but just be careful that the Penrith also played in Darwin last week and also lost 3 to 5 kilos a player and have to travel up to Newcastle as well. It's not going to be an easy week for them either.
Hey, you do you, man. Let me do me, please.
I'm going to give you a warning.
Let me just check. Karl for the season, positive $55.50. Nick Tedeschi minus $7.75. Okay.
I just want those nuggets. No one sent me nuggets last week.
So just reiterating my best bet is the Knights plus. No, I'm kidding. The Panthers minus 12.5 at $1.90. My try scorer, is it Josiah Katapani?
Yes.
Or Josiah Katapani at $2.05. The Dogs have been letting in all sorts of tries down that side of the field. Presuming he's playing the left-hand side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the Bulldogs right side winger? Montoya. That's free. Karapani's free. Mark that up as a winner right now, Paul. Mark that up as a winner right now. Karapani.
Well, here you go. Here's a couple of Adokar left side, AJ left side, Jenkins left side, Latrell left side, all in the last 3 weeks.
Well, you could have Tyler Mawani and Tedeschi up against him, and we might all get him. Ayshford has scored 7 on him.
My same game multi, actually that Melbourne game, I've got either team 1 to 12, AJ anytime and Latrell anytime at $5.50. Those two are on a absolute tear when it comes to scoring tries. And then anything else, I've gone to the lowest scoring team market, and the Newcastle Knights paying $5.60 against the Penrith Panthers. I think Penrith will suffocate them. And we spoke before, obviously the Dragons are favourites in that market, but I think they will score some points against the Roosters. So Newcastle Knights, lowest scoring team, $5.60. That's me. Teddy.
Best bet over 52.5 Roosters Dragons at $1.90. Anytime try Simi Sasangi at $2.55. The Storm letting 52% of their tries down their left-hand edge. And the Tigers letting 62% down their left-hand edge, and Sasangi up against that. So he's been flying. 16 tackle breaks this year, Sasangi as well. Same game multi, Roosters 13+, James Tedesco try, Hugo Savala try at $4.34. And any other, Canberra to win, Cronulla to win at $4.36.
Blake?
Yeah, once again, I thought it was just going to be 1 week. I went big prices, but we've double dipped. So best bet, Bulldogs 13+, $3. If anyone can stop a try scoring streak, it is
don't
me.
Do it, don't.
Try scorer Jenkins 2+.
Oh, Milky.
$2.40.
Oh, no. He's been going so well.
Same game multi. Sharks game, either team 1 to 12. KL Iro to score. Tommy Dearden to score, 13.30. And stay with me here. Anything else? Brian To'o and Tom Jenkins, 2 combined. Panthers 13+. Into Adokar and Tolutau Kola, 2 tries combined. Manly 1 to 12. $15.
Wow. Dang. Larry. I'll give you Surly's because he has sent them in.
Well, hey.
Before we go to you, Paul. So his best bet is the Sharks head-to-head at $1.87. Anytime, he's got Casey McLean at $1.98. Same game multi. 2+ tries combined, AKP and DWZ. Hammer anytime and Warriors win. And then his anything else, he's called it the centre of attention bet. KL Iro, Herbie Farnworth, and Ruben Garrick at $13.47. What do you got, Paul?
Best bet, Rabbitohs, $2.35. Try scorer. What?
$2.55, isn't it?
35.
Oh. I've got 2. I'll have a look. Anyway.
$2.35, my bad.
Try scorer. Herbie Farnworth at $2.50. Same game multi. Either team to win by 1 to 12. Burns to score a try. Kennedy to score a try. Comes out at $7.69. And then my anything bet, Dogs to win, Panthers to win, Sea Eagles to win, $2.99.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you very much, fellas. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the footy, the Anzac Day footy. And we will be back next week to do it all again on the Advantage Line.